Hello noble ones and welcome to Metatron's Academy. So we've got a recent upload from Robwords, and of course if you haven't watched the original video we won't react to the entire, we'll just react to some of it, and then if you want to keep watching it, do go and click the link in the description or pinned comment to give the view to the original creator. Without further ado, let's go.
A Swedish word that means just the right amount. A Malay word for the time it takes to eat a banana. A jargon word for the look between two people who want the same thing, but neither dares make the first move. The internet is full of lists of words that are untranslatable into English. But are they real? Some of them are, but some of them are not.
Wow.
So let's investigate in another Robwords.
I'm actually curious to see if he's going to pull up some words from Italian, Japanese, Mandarin, or any language that I'm familiar with. That'd be amazing, but even if not.
Now, I've had a lot of help with this one. I've been asking people all over the world whether these words really do exist in their languages and mean what we English speakers are told they mean.
Right.
And I've uncovered some stuff.
Okay.
We're going to test these words for two things.
Right.
One, do they mean what the online listicles and memes say they mean? And two, are they really untranslatable?
They're both very good questions, because the second one is the obvious one. We want to know, is it untranslatable, meaning that you don't have a single word to explain what the original meaning was, but you might need a few words or a full sentence. That's really what that means. And then the other thing, but number one is more subtle. I like it, because sometimes you see people saying this is what this means, but it's not true. It's not true, and it's not the original meaning of the word as it's used today, at least, by native speakers in their language.
Something we have to do first, though, is to define what we mean by untranslatable. Because arguably, no word is untranslatable if you can explain what it means. If you have, you've translated it.
True.
But for the sake of this video, let's take untranslatable as meaning that you can't translate it into English
With a single word.
Word, one for one. Take the Danish Hygge. No untranslatable list is complete without it, but you can translate it as a quality of coziness and comfortable conviviality that engenders a feeling of contentment or well-being.
I mean, sure, but that's so... Goodness gracious, I'm sure there is something closer to it. Maybe you can use 3 words.
That is translating it, but it took 15 words. 15 words that I stole from the Oxford English Dictionary.
Ah.
Yes, there's your first revelation right there. Hygge is in the OED. It has been embedded into enough English sentences to make it in. Anyway,
Seriously, never heard it in my life.
Hygge does mean what the online lists say it means, and you can't translate it into a single word. Coziness comes pretty close, but Danes will tell you that it's not quite right. So, Hygge is legit untranslatable.
All right, number 1.
Another hero of the untranslatable lists that is also in the Oxford English Dictionary is saudade. I've just said it in a terribly British way, but it's a Portuguese word pronounced like this in Portugal.
Oh, let's see.
Saudade.
And
Saudade.
this in Brazil.
Saudade.
Saudade.
Now, if you put saudade into Google Translate, you'll get the one-word translation, longing.
Longing.
But that really doesn't cover it. The famous saudade of the Portuguese is a vague and constant desire for something that does not and probably cannot exist, for something other than the present, a turning towards the past or towards the future. Not
basically, it's a longing on steroids, or a longing, not necessarily on steroids in the sense that it increases the amount of desire, but probably because it's a longing with a caveat. There you go. That's the way to do it.
An active discontent or poignant sadness, but an indolent dreaming wistfulness.
Okay.
That definition is from a book published in 1912. This word has been doing the rounds in English texts for over a century, and it's a genuine untranslatable.
Love it.
So what about this one? Pisan Zapra, Malay for the time needed to eat a banana.
Is it so strange that you would need something like this? But I guess if a banana is a typical staple food, then it makes sense. But I wonder why we don't have a word for the time needed to eat pasta in Italy. I mean, shouldn't we have one? We should make it.
Hilarious. I actually found this one in a book. But is it real? Well, I should say that this is more often listed as 2 words, Pisan Zapra. But that doesn't really matter, because it appears to be nonsense.
It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
The Malay for banana is pisang, I'm told, not pisan, and Zapra
Okay.
means nothing in Malay whatsoever.
Making stuff up, people.
One Malaysian commenter on Quora pointed this out, adding, "We also couldn't care less how long it takes to eat a banana."
There we go. Thank you,
So
Sonia.
what has gone wrong? Well, a reporter at the Malay Mail called Zaraira AR went deep into this one and traced the error back to a couple of English books about extraordinary, untranslatable words. It's possible that one of these books has actually got it from the other. The idea then spread still further thanks to posts like this one
Spread like fire.
from the British TV show QI. After Malay speakers pointed out it was gibberish, they took it down and apologised and revealed that they had got the word from a review of one of those two books I just mentioned.
So it's the books. You know, so this actually reminds me of something in the historical field that I've covered on my main channel, the one where I usually address historical, cultural issues. And the thing is, you know, the idea of the major conflict between the ancient Romans and the Carthaginians, Punic Wars. You know, this idea that the Romans win and they destroy the city of Carthage and they salt the earth, right? They salt the ground so that nothing will ever be able to grow. It's nonsense. It's nowhere to be found. The earliest I think I found was a book from the 19th century, and before that there's nothing. No ancient Roman writer says it, and the ones that do mention it don't give us the sources. So it's a made-up stuff. It never happened. Also because, I mean, think about it. Do you understand how much salt, which was very precious, by the way, that's where we get the word salary from, sal, meaning salt in Latin. Not because the Romans were paid in salt, but because apart from being paid in money, they would also receive a ration of salt, because salt was, at the end of the day, valuable, and you could use it as barter in classical antiquity. It was very good because they didn't have a fridge, so salt was a great way to preserve food, whatever. Regardless, it's nonsense. It's not true. Never happened. But it's spread, and people just keep repeating what they read in one book, and then another book repeats the previous book, and then the next book's 3 books to repeat what the second book said without ever checking. No one ever said it. It's not a thing.
The one that included this. Now, I'm not naming the books because starting book beef is not really my style,
beef.
and they are otherwise good books. But it's thought the author of one of them may have come across someone using a combination of the Malay pisang, banana, and a Tamil word meaning eat. The Malay Mail says this combination, basically banana eating, can have a somewhat vulgar meaning. But anyway, Pisan Zapra, forget it.
Man, they're so different than me. I start beef with everyone. I don't even care.
Plenty more debunking where that came from.
Thank you.
Have you heard of lagom? It's a Swedish word meaning just the right amount. Or is it? Is it real?
Yeah, lagom.
That's Andrea, my Swedish tutor. You know how I like to dabble in different
Okay, so this is Italki.
languages. And she says lagom is definitely a thing.
Lagom is just perfect. And I feel that it describes the Swedish mentality very on point, because it's not too much and it's not too little. It's just the right amount of anything. Is it hot enough or cold enough? That are lagom. It's like, it's perfectly fine.
In Japanese, they would say chodoi for that one.
So that's a big old tick for lagom. I've been having weekly Swedish lessons with Andrea for a few months now, and I just so happen to have found her using this video's sponsor, Preply.
Preply, not Italki. Okay, never heard of this one. Must function similarly.
They gave me a choice of over 100 tutors whose teaching style matched lesson with.
All right, so what is it? 50% lesson with what? What is your code, mate? What is your code, mate? Well, I guess click the link since it's a relatively recent upload. It probably still counts, so go do it. Go do it.
Preply. Now here's a beautiful word, Plimpplampplettere, a Dutch word for skimming stones across the water. It is
kinda sounds
imitative
like it.
of the sound the stone makes as it bounces, then splashes. And it is also not real. I asked my subscribers to confirm or deny the existence of a few of these words. Plimpplampplettere was among them. And the unanimous response from Dutch speakers was,
Nonsense.
it doesn't exist.
Nonsense.
Flemish speakers too. Perhaps there is some corner of the Low Countries where it's used. The author of this book must have got it from somewhere. Notice it has an N on the end of it here, which perhaps makes more grammatical sense than the version that's doing the rounds online.
Right.
But it's definitely not standard Dutch, which is a
Nonsense.
shame, because it's fun. Actually, while I'm showing off my book collection, I'll show you this one that I just bought.
How does he get such clean audio when he shoots outside? I don't know.
The Guinness Book of world records. I bought it because I wanted to show you a specific record in here, but I can't find it. It might not even be in this edition. So we'll have to make do with this scan of the 2006 edition and this record for most succinct word.
Yeah, so the shortest, but still kind of giving good connection, good
It
conveying the meaning.
Says the most challenging word for any lexicographer, that's a dictionary writer, to define briefly is the Fuegian word "Plimpplampplettere," meaning looking at each other, hoping that either will offer to do something which both parties desire but are unwilling to do. You will find this word all over the internet. In fact, it is the name of an EP just released by K-pop band Eyelit. I'm told that's how you pronounce it. And you can see why. A single word for that look shared between two people who want the same thing but dare not make the first move. It's kind of romantic.
I wonder if it's only be used in a romantic section or if it can be used for we both want to play Call of Duty.
Even a bit sexy.
Yeah.
But is it real? Well, this is a tricky one, but thankfully I got some more help. Shout out to Paula, who is in Chile and gave me a massive leg up with this. The Fuegian language that the guys at Guinness are referring to is Jargon, a language spoken in Tierra del Fuego, in the far southern reaches.
Man, Land of Fire. I freaking love that. It sounds like a fantasy book.
Of Chile and Argentina. At least it was spoken there, but sadly the last fluent speaker died in 2022. Her name was Cristina Calderon, and she was apparently asked about Plimpplampplettere and didn't know it. However, it's not reasonable to expect one person to know all of the words in their language, so that
particularly if it's kind of special
doesn't necessarily mean Plimpplampplettere is not real. More research required.
I wonder if also she didn't recognize the approximation of the pronunciation with an English accent. That could also be the reason, depending on who asked, unless it was a local. But still, they could have effed up, even if they're Spanish speakers. Still, it's a different language, so they might have effed up the pronunciation. She didn't recognize it because of it. Also, what age was she? You know, there's that. Maybe she was a little hearing impaired.
And that research, thanks to Paula helping me navigate some of the Spanish sources on this, weirdly led me back to English. Specifically, this Jargon to English dictionary, written in 1933. It was written by a missionary, Reverend Thomas Bridges, after spending almost 2 decades in Tierra del Fuego. This book appears to be the sole written source of this word. All the modern listicles and memes trace back to this. To be precise, this bit. There it is. I can't tell you how excited I am.
I wonder if it's a situation. Yeah, it is exciting, actually. I found this. I wonder if it's also a situation of maybe it was already kind of an old word for that last generation and of older people, and then the young people didn't keep, because this happens. I mean, I remember even in my lifetime, at least down in Sicily, for instance, in Italian, we say I have to. We would say devo. Kind of means I must, right? Devo. But I remember older people back in the day would instead say debbo with double B. No one does it now. It's gone. It's finished. It's an extinct pronunciation. Although it's not even pronunciation. The word is spelled different, means the same thing. Would I understand it if an older gentleman says it? Yes. Would I be really weirded out if a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old told me debbo andare al cinema? There's no way. So it's one of those words that was extinguished. It's gone. It's finished. No one uses it anymore. And another one is an alternative spelling of the word gioco, which means to play, or a game. We say gioco. Everyone says gioco. But once again, when I was a child, I remember some older people, men and women, saying giuoco. So they were adding a U there. It's completely finished. Now it's gone. That was probably one of the last generations doing already. My parents weren't doing it anymore. So older people.
Was to find this Plimpplampplettere, to look at each other, hoping that either will offer to do something which both parties much desire done, but are unwilling to do. Now that fits reasonably well with the definition given these days, doesn't it?
Yes.
Although there is one little word in there that I think gives it a different impression to the sexy definition that we have now. The Reverend writes about something which both parties much desire done. And I feel like the done there makes it sound more like it's about avoiding chores than stealing a kiss.
Maybe.
Or more. But it's probably close enough, isn't it? However, is the author right about the word existing and its meaning? I mean, it's worth noting that he mentions it not as an entry in the dictionary itself, but just as a curiosity in his
Curiosity.
general remarks at the start of the book. It's hard not to read something into that. The BBC published an excellent article about this a few years
That would be a change. I freaking hate the BBC. They very seldomly publish something I would call excellent, but then again, that's just me.
back, and it quotes a linguist who studied jargon saying, though Reverend Bridges knew jargon better than any European before or since, he was sometimes prone to exoticizing the language and to being very verbose in his translations. The same linguist, Joran Meros, suggests mamilapinatapai could in fact mean simply to make each other feel awkward. However, the same article includes another interpretation from a jargon museum guide who describes it as that instant in which everyone is quiet just before a story's told. So could...
Ooh, I love that mental... You just gave me a fantastic mental imagery right now. Freaking love it.
mamilapinatapai essentially be a loaded silence or pregnant pause.
I like loaded silence. It's a nice expression. I'm not a huge fan of the expression a pregnant pause, but I mean, it does convey the meaning.
Unfortunately, we're never going to be sure whether the source of the modern meaning doing the rounds on the English language internet is based on truth or the author's embellishment.
Of course.
So I'm going to give mamilapinatapai a maybe.
Hey, we've got 2 check marks, 2 X's, and a question mark. Not too bad. Now, from the looks of this notepad, I think we've got space for 2 more, but probably it's going to just turn the page because we are roughly in the middle of the video. So as I promised, because it's a recent upload and he clearly put a lot of research, I don't want to react to the entire thing so that people can go and react to the original. But I will say, this was fascinating. And I hope that I have added some interesting information when it comes to my own language and the kind of words that sort of slip away. But with that being said, thank you for watching and joining Metatron's Academy. Have a good one. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a moment to check out my Patreon page. With as little as a $5 support, you can help us ensure that we can continue to produce high quality and high researched content. And at the same time, you get access to polls, extra videos, unlisted streams, and much more. Thank you so much.